guys, welcome to my newest video for today. For today's video I'm going to be doing a book unhaul. I can't remember if I've actually ever done a book unhaul on this channel before, but basically I've started, like every season, started going through my collection and picking out, say, around 10 books that I know I will not be rereading or have no interest in holding onto. So that's basically the purpose of this video. So this is going to be my unhaul for summer 2020-2021, and I have 10 books here. So all of them I have read, but I have no interest in rereading, so I will get straight into it. I will also say that I will be donating these books, so I basically donate them to St. Vincent de Paul, so that is where these books will be going. So to start with, the first one that I have is Fallen by Lauren Kate. I read this one, I want to say like 2015. I did enjoy it at the time that I read it, and I do still have the sequel, which I will read at some point, but I don't have any plans to reread this particular, like the first book and that. So, because I know a lot of people don't really care for this series, but I didn't mind the first one, so but yeah, it's just something I'm not interested in revisiting. So I have Fallen. Then the next one that I have is one that was actually one of my most disappointing reads, because the premise just sounded like something that was everything that I loved in a science fiction story, because this was sort of pitched as Eurovision meets Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and it tried too hard to be Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which, you know, there's only one Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and yeah, it was just felt like such a chore to get through. And yeah, so I'm unhauling Space Opera by Catherine M. Valente, I think that's her name. I mean, it's a gorgeous edition that I have, but yeah, the book was just disappointing, and yeah, I have no interest in revisiting this. So Space Opera. Then I have the next book that I have is one that I actually did like reading when I read it a few years ago, and that was The Diabolic by S.J. Kincaid. I thought it had quite an interesting premise, and I liked the politics that were involved in it and things like that. But I know there is a sequel to this, but I haven't heard too many great things about the sequel, and I think I don't know if it's something if I'll ever get around to picking up the sequel, but I know I'm not going to revisit the story thing, so I thought I will pass this on to someone else who might be interested in reading this. But yeah, like it was a decent story in that, but it's not one of my favourites, so it's The Diabolic. Then I have one that is probably going to be very controversial, and that is I'm Unhauling Looking for Alaska by John Green. I did like this when I first read it, but I don't really have any plans to really continue reading John Green, because I think it's sort of one of the titles that I picked up back when I first discovered BookTube, and everyone was raving about, like, you know, Looking for Alaska, The Fault in Our Stars, things like that. Because I have read what was that other one? An Abundance of Catherines. I think I've also read that one, which I have a feeling I unhauled as well. But yeah, it was just one of those titles that I've sort of picked up because everyone loved the author, and it's, yeah, I think as I've sort of developed my, like, finding out my reading tastes and things like that, it's not really something that I'm going to be rereading all that. I may still check out the miniseries that came out, I think it was last year or the year before, but yeah, I don't plan to revisit Looking for Alaska, the actual book. So, but yeah, so I'm unhauling Looking for Alaska. Now this one again also might be controversial, but I'm going to unhaul Northern Lights by Philip Pullman, which is the first book in his Dark Materials series. Now this edition is absolutely gorgeous, and it sort of does make, like, I'm almost tempted just to keep it because of the, like, how gorgeous this is, but I have a stack of books in my cupboard, and I'm trying to sort of clear out some books that I know I sort of don't want to go back to, and this is sort of one of them. I did like the story, but because I wanted to read it because of the new TV show, like his Dark Materials adaptation, which I know is finishing with the 3rd season, but I don't know if I'm going to continue reading any more from this series, because I think if I'd read it when I was younger I would have gotten a lot more out of this story. But yeah, it's definitely something that like I enjoyed but I didn't absolutely love, so I think I'm gonna just unhaul it, so free up some space in my cupboard. So but yeah, but this edition is absolutely gorgeous though, so that's Northern Lights. Then I have Everything by Nicola Yoon. Again, another story I enjoyed. I think, again, another story I picked up because everyone was raving about it at the time. But, yeah, it's not something that I plan to reread. So, it was, fine for a one-time read. But, yeah, so that's Everything. And then I have Wild by Cheryl Stray. So I have, again, I read this a couple of years ago because I had previously seen the movie adaptation and I wanted to read the book. And while the book, obviously, there's a lot more detail in the book than what there was in the movie. And I think, yeah, this would have been some things I would have liked to have seen adapted for the movie, but in the end it was a decent story, but not something I'm gonna actually revisit. So that's Wild. And then the last 3 books that I have to unhaul all sort of have a theme, and they all involve the historical fiction revolving around the Tudor Queens. So the first one that I have is 6 Tudor Queens, Catherine of Aragon, The True Queen by Alison Weir. So I've actually been listening to this series on audiobook, which I've been really enjoying, and I don't feel the need to continue getting the physical copies of them. So yeah, so I just thought, you know what, I've only got the first one here, so I'm going to go ahead and unhaul it. So it's first one. And then I have 2 Philippa Gregory books, again all ones I've read. So I have The Other Boleyn Girl, and I also have The Taming of the Queen. So yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed Philippa Gregory's takes on the Tudor period and that, but it's again something, because I borrowed a lot of them from the library, so it's not something that I feel the need to physically own anymore. So yeah, so I just thought, you know what, I think it's time to pass them on to someone who might get more out of it than what I did, like when I have had it in my collection. So yeah, I think that's basically everything for this video. So those are the 10 books I'm going to be unhauling for this past season. So thank you guys for watching, and until my next video, I will see you guys next time. Bye!